Warm greetings from the High 10. It is Everyday Shenanigans on this Sunday, April 5th, 2020. I would like to bring you an update to some stories that I have discussed here recently. The first story is about Antonio Brown. He was formally charged last week with felony burglary, conveyance, misdemeanor battery, and misdemeanor criminal mischief for an alleged assault against a delivery truck driver in January, alongside his trainer. This gentleman is alleging that both of them assaulted him, and this happened outside his South Florida home. The damages are uh, believed to be worth $200 or less against this delivery truck driver who was bringing personal items to Mr. Brown's home, and they were deemed household items from another state. If I'm not mistaken, that truck was coming out of California. That's the said information by The Complex if you need verification for the storyline. The next story is by NBC if you need verification, and it is about Pastor Tony Spell out of Louisiana. He was charged last week with a misdemeanor summons for 6 services held when there was an issuance by the governor, John Bel Edwards, not to have any gatherings, and the state was put on basically, locked down from having any gatherings and going to any social places in the state. He's a pastor of Life Tabernacle Church, and he continued to have services, which one Sunday service accrued at least 500 people. And this is in the city of Central Louisiana with a population of 29,000. So that's a lot of people for a small town of under 30,000 people. And the next set of information I'm going to bring you is pertaining to the cruise ships that have docked in the state of Florida. If you need verification for the story, please log on to Click Orlando. Another cruise ship with coronavirus victims docking in Florida. And this was published yesterday morning. Another cruise ship with coronavirus victims on board, including 2 fatalities, docked in Florida on Saturday. Princess Cruises spokeswoman Nijin Kamali said in an email that the Coral Princess ship was docking in Miami. The ship with 1,020 passengers and 878 crew members has been in limbo for days, awaiting permission to dock. As of Thursday, Kamali said 7 passengers and 5 crew members had tested positive for the coronavirus. Anyone in need of hospitalization would disembark first, the cruise line said, although it wasn't immediately clear when that would happen. Those who are fit to fly will begin leaving on Sunday, while others who have symptoms of respiratory illness will remain on board until cleared by ship doctors. A day earlier, the cruise ships Zaandam and Rotterdam were permitted to dock at Port Everglades in Fort Lauderdale, with 14 critically ill people taken immediately to hospitals. The remaining passengers were slowly being allowed to board flights for home. The Coral Princess has been on a South American cruise that was due to end March 19th in Buenos Aires. Since then, the ship has encountered obstacles to docking because various port closures and cancellation of airline flights, the cruise line said. Passengers have self-isolated in their staterooms, and meals have been delivered by room service. Crew members also have remained in their quarters when they are not working. The Coast Guard said in a news release Saturday it has been involved with processing about 120 vessels and carrying some 250,000 passengers over the past 3 weeks because of the coronavirus pandemic. The Coast Guard statement said as of Saturday, there are 114 cruise ships carrying 93,000 crew members, either in or near U.S. ports and waters. That includes 73 cruise ships with 52,000 crew members moored or anchored in U.S. ports and anchorages. Another 41 cruise ships with 41,000 crew members are underway and close to the U.S. The cruise line industry announced a voluntary suspension of most ship operations from U.S. ports on March 13th. The next day, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention announced a no-sail order to all cruise ships that had not suspended operations. We recommend the decision by the cruise industry to cease operations. However, pausing a global tourist industry does not happen instantaneously or easily, said Vice Admiral Dan Abel, Coast Guard Deputy Commandant for operations. The federal, state, local, and industry corporation to achieve this feat truly represents the whole of nation approach directed by the president and is essential to fighting the spread of this virus and working to minimize the loss of life. Princess Cruises is a brand of Miami-based Carnival Corp, the world's largest cruise company. If you need verification for this story, please log on to Click Orlando. So right now, lots of ships out, it seems. So many, it says 73 cruise ships with 52,000 crew members moored or anchored in U.S. ports and anchorages. Another 41 cruise ships with 41,000 crew members are underway and close to the U.S. 41 more cruise ships. I mean, that's a lot. Well, as I stated before in the previous video, I do believe that when the virus was doing its thing, getting crunk, I don't think the ship should have been out. That's just my personal opinion. The officials, the cruise line officials may not have thought it was a big deal because they didn't get an issuance from this city, this state, this country. But sometimes you have to use common sense and not wait on the government to give you the go-ahead with staying inside, don't go anywhere. Same with here in the U.S. Sometimes you have to use better judgment to say, you know, too many people are dying. So many people have died here in China. So many people are dying in Italy, Spain. Okay. Now I'm hearing about people here in my own country, which is the U.S. You have to use your own discretion to say, I best not travel. And I think rather the cruise ship decided to send those ships out anyway, even though they knew there were people afflicted with the virus in different countries. You as a human being should have said, that's okay, I'll pass. I'll go on vacation another time when I'm not hearing such outlandish numbers of people coming down with this virus. I don't know why people didn't think they would be immune to this virus because they were on a ship. How could you assume that people in China, they got this virus, then it left China? How do you think they got it? They got it because people who lived there or were visiting there contracted the disease there, and then they left China and went to various countries and gave it to other people. So why in the world would you think you couldn't have gotten it on that cruise ship? That's just amazing to me. But that's the said information. And as far as Mr. Antonio Brown, I really don't have a comment about that because that's old news. That's just a ongoing situation because, you know, he's still facing other sexual assaults. So I'll bring you an update when I get the said information pertaining to that. And as far as sports, who knows what's going to happen in the next couple of months as far as pro ball, the draft, college teams, college sports, colleges in general, children going back to school, finishing school, graduations, all of the above. Everything is in limbo at the moment. And as far as this pastor, Tony Spell down in Louisiana, he needs to just sit down and give it a rest. He has enough members to where he should be able to stream live from church, and he can stand in that pulpit all day on his own and give the spoken word about God and sit on down once he's done. Most churches are streaming. They have the capability to stream. That's what social media is for, and that's what it was designed for. New technology, new things. So he shouldn't have a problem with going live from his church, his home, wherever he chooses to give the word. And that's my opinion on that situation. Thanks for joining me. Like, share, subscribe, drop your comments below. I hope you all are safe out there. God bless all of you, and please keep your distance. I know I'm feeling a little funky today, and I'm praying. Lord knows I am praying because I'm just feeling a little off right now. Chest feels a little weird, so I didn't know if it was my blood pressure or what. But anyway, pray for me. You all stay safe out there, and please stay indoors if you can. I know some of you still need to go out and shop, but just be careful. Wear your mask, wear your gloves, get back in, wipe down everything, wash your hands thoroughly, and pray. God bless you. God bless America. God bless those abroad. Pets, children, everybody. Thanks for joining me. This is Everyday Shenanigans. Bye-bye.